Yeah. What is the, I want therapists to understand how they could apply, or if there's any little tips, like when someone comes into your clinic and you want to treat them, there's a protocol that you go through with myoskeletal.
You can call it whatever you want, dear. You're
But your
allowed.
musculoskeletal, MAT. We
Yeah,
cut everything
Matt.
down
We'll just
anyway.
call it Matt. That's easy.
Yeah.
Is there a protocol I go through? Yep. The most important protocol. I'm getting actually ready to film the whole thing from the time they walk into the office. People who have actual pathologies, where from the time they walk into the office, how I greet them. My little waiting room. I have a small little office. I've always never had a big clinic because I like the small, intimate type thing, and how you take a history taking. A lost art there, dear. People don't really understand the importance of history taking, particularly in a pain management practice, because people tend to forget things, suppress things, or don't want to tell you things. And so if you keep on, you have a good, you combine that with good assessment, and it's a critical thinking type way of approaching the client. But it's the biopsychosocial model where you get to be friends with them. I'm friends with them. Some of them I've worked with their families for, since I've been back in Oklahoma. Practice started in California. And since I've been back here, I've had some clients 30 years. I have the first guy I ever worked on that comes in once a month. And, it's partially a tune-up. It's partially psychosocial.
Yeah.
It's knowing somebody's out there for you if you ever do get in trouble. They don't want to miss their appointment. When I get my book in October, by the end of October, I'm booked the whole next year. My next year's booked. And then I tell them, some people I space them out 2-3 months. If they're doing the home retraining exercises, if they aren't fragile and don't need the coaching up. And that's what we could obviously try to always get them away from. We try to spread it a little further and further away so that they're more self-independent. So, but if I get cancellations, I encourage people to cancel. If you're not feeling good, if you don't have money, cancel. And then I can put somebody in on the waiting list, move a new person or so in, and that's always fun too. So then, you do the treatment thing, you give them home retraining advice. And then I usually only give them 3 things to take home with them to do as far as home retraining. And then as soon as they come back the next session, I say, okay, what did I show you last time? What did I tell you to do? And they go, oh crap, if he's going to ask me that every time, I better do it, because he's going to ask me as soon as I get in there, he's going to ask me what I did, and then you have to really, basically the most important thing there is just watching their form, quality over quantity. They may be able to do a bunch of bird dogs or planks or things, but what is the quality? How does it look? So that's what you coach them up on and make sure that they're doing them right.
Yeah. No, history taking is absolutely 100%. 2 things. One, history taking is so important. Should be taking it throughout the clinic. I don't know. You're probably
exactly.
The same.
Exactly. That's what most therapists do not know that. So basically, you're coming in, even if you know the person, basically you're kind of your brain waves are in beta, 52 cycles per second, whatever, something like that. Okay, so as soon as somebody puts their hands on you, your brain waves start to go down, and basically you get to be in the alpha state, 11 cycles per second, 7, 11, whatever, and that is when people are most receptive. And so you talking to them. So, when you took that fall, that fall in 1998, and you keep have had that ever since that sore hip. Was there anything else that happened? And all of a sudden, they are a lot more receptive to it. When you have your hands on them, sometimes they tell you more things than you want to hear when you put your hands on them. In psychology, that's why I hated psychology, and I'm not bashing psychologists or anything like that. It's just that sitting across from a table is not the same as putting your hands on someone and having a conversation about whatever comes up. In psychology, we hate it. We did not do that. Transference was something that was just a no-no. No pictures of your family on the wall. You don't discuss any of your background. Well, that is completely turned around now in the new biopsychosocial model, because that's what gets people to trust you and feel safe. The most important thing is when they come in your office, they feel safe. This is where I'm supposed to be. And when you're working on them, it's always like, hey, we're working on this together.
Yes.
I'm not working on your body. We're working on this together, and we're going to achieve this goal. You always plant that. You keep planting that in their mind. This is the goal that we're going to achieve. That kind of thing. Yeah, you do that too, and that's right. So history taking throughout the session, subtly.
Yeah,
it's like hypnotic.
It is absolutely, and it's kind of like I agree. Listening to Stephen Porges and that Porges theory with the upper level of, like, originally reptilian and then mammalian, and now his polyvagal theory and
polyvagal,
the social interaction, and you'll be. I think we need to be visually and auditory really acknowledging our patients when they're on the table, clients on the table. And you'll pick up, like, you'll be touching a shoulder and exactly that. Then all of a sudden their eyes will twitch or they'll do something and you'll go, what's come up? What are you thinking about right now? And they'll go, oh, how did that make you feel when I was there? And then
that's one of the things I liked about Chapmans Reflexes is, people confuse strain counter, strain Jones's thing, and myofascial trigger points in Chapmans. They're three totally different things, and people need to realize that. But one thing I like about that is to do it, you have to be very observative. You have to be in the present tense, and you watch for things like reactions to things.
Cheating.
That leads you to the next piece of the puzzle.